Bulabinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tavua. We love Today FM in Tavua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news, diabetes-related amputation on the rise. Health Ministry won't tolerate abuse towards staff. And firefighters continue to fight blaze.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
There has been a rise in diabetes-related amputations. 791 people lost one of their limbs last year alone. Pranita Prakash reports this is an increase of 122 cases since 2015.
Diabetes accounts for the second highest rate of non-communicable disease-related deaths in the country.
In 1980, the rate of diabetes mellitus was 10%. In 2000, the rate had increased to 15.6%. Complications of diabetes have also increased. As many of you know, the amputation rate in Fiji is 1 in every 8 hours. As a nation, we have to take action to tackle NCDs. We cannot afford a situation where one person every 8 hours in Fiji has a limb amputated.
The growing number of amputation cases is also a concern for the Ministry of Health.
This is a clear indication that there is a need for an alternative measure to contain this avalanche. It is also necessary for people living with diabetes to take ownership and be actively involved in the management of their health.
These diabetic patients says we can take control of our own health.
Some activities which I do to control my insulin, like doing gardening, doing a lot of exercise every day and controlling my diet. We also mostly should eat a lot of green vegetables and drink a lot of water.
A national diabetes registration drive has also been launched, which will run until November. The registration will provide evidence-based health information to improve health status of all Fijians. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Fijians should be able to turn to a health system that has the capacity and expertise to give them the best treatment rather than travelling overseas. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says this is possible when doctors and nurses work in proper facilities, use modern equipments and undergo the right training. Kelly Vavala reports.
Many people often travel overseas for medical treatment as most of the resources and skills are not available in the country.
They should know that they have a range of high-quality medical services right here in Fiji, in the region, not an ocean away in Australia, New Zealand or elsewhere. They should know that their doctors and nurses are well trained and capable of meeting their needs. And they should know that their government is committed to making their healthcare options affordable.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama today opened the 2017 Gastroenterology Training Program at the CWM in Suva. Medical staff will be trained to care for patients who suffer from a variety of abdominal disorders.
To perform all techniques above, including diagnostic gastroscopy, interventional diagnostic colonoscopy, and varicose bending. Our nurses and doctors are well trained and their skills uplifted to levels, I am told by a visiting gastroenterologist, similar to the skills of their peers in Australia.
That patients in the wider Pacific really had a very limited access to this type of medicine and this type of surgery. And those island nations had similar problems with transferring out patients.
More than 20 trainees who are nurses and doctors from here and the Pacific region will be part of the 2017 gastroenterology training here at the CWM Hospital. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Ministry of Health and Medical Services will not tolerate any form of verbal or physical abuse against health professionals. Ropate Valeme reports health workers in rural and maritime areas often face such abuse.
Health Minister Rosie Akbar says some patients can be difficult and have unreasonable expectations, but the staff must remain professional at all times.
in rural and maritime areas. Okay? However, at times we receive complaints that the community support is not there for our staff. So we will not tolerate if any of our staff are verbally abused or physically abused by communities in areas that they are serving.
The ministry has received a number of reports where staff have been threatened or even assaulted while on duty.
And I'd like to call upon all communities to commit to protect our health staff who are working for their benefit. Anyone who abuses a health professional should be thoroughly ashamed and face the serious criticism from everyone around the community.
Fiji Medical Student Association President Akash Prasad says more work should be done for medical students to give back to the society.
We usually see that medical students, not just in Fiji but all over the world, are merely bystanders in whatever the health-related tasks are undertaken. So FJMSA will provide our students with that platform to give back more to society.
Prasad says medical students must develop personally and professionally and become agents for communication for local students and abroad. The ministry will work with the association for the enhancement of health services in Fiji. Rapatavaleme, FBC News.
Firefighters continue to fight to contain the blaze at the Ndalomo Sawmill property in Namara Lambasa. FBC News understands the fire started at the sawmill waste stockpile at around 10:30 yesterday morning. Firefighters managed to stop the fire from spreading to nearby structures. They have been at the scene since then. At around midday today, the flames were still visible from afar. No one was injured or hurt in the fire incident. Police and NFA are investigating the cause of the fire. Still to come, grant boost for local companies. An alleged manslaughter trial begins. Stay with us.
Moala rarara ranalika, o tikongon na tao na singatoka, ando talisaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na seri.
Ya dora subuni kurnambili, iborani batu karahan para binaranga, do talitakinal na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na seri. Bula!
Bula FM, number 2 na seri.
Five local companies were awarded the Prime Minister's Small Grant today, a scheme aimed at small to medium capital projects across the country. Among the recipients was Esther's Earthmoving Works, a small company whose project is expected to benefit more than 330 people in the farming community of Nandakuni in Naitasiri. Maggie Boyle reports.
Signing the dotted line, Dhiren Prasad was awarded close to $160,000 to cultivate land for ginger farming.
This involves the clearing of the bush and shrubs, and then we start tilting the land, and then we need the drainage.
While these are the last awardees for this financial year of the PM's grant, submissions for next year's projects are already piling up.
We had 9 million this year, and it's pretty much exhausted on the request, and we have quite a lot that are going to be put to the next budget.
FEA received close to $21,000 to extend their power lines to the Tavira Primary School, which will assist 448 students.
Particularly in modern day that we are going through e-commerce, and mode of teaching nowadays is driven by technology, and I'm glad that the students in that school will benefit from such an initiative from the PM's office.
Karan says grants like this target communities that need that little assistance to be able to make a big difference. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The first prosecution witness in the case of a 39-year-old unemployed man charged in relation to the death of his younger brother told the Suva High Court that the accused and the alleged victim argued over a bowl of dal on the day of the alleged offence. Isaac Evana Jr. is charged with 1 count of manslaughter. Salanieta Vivolivoli, the sister-in-law of both men, recalled the day of the offence, saying she heard both of them arguing because the victim, Suliasi Verevere, had eaten dal prepared by Junior. She said the argument got violent and they continued swearing and punching each other. Vivolivoli said she went out of the house and when she came back, she saw Suliasi lying on the floor. The witness said with the help of her father-in-law, she took Suliasi to the hospital where he later died. The alleged offence took place in Kalambu Nasinu on April 5th last year. The University of the South Pacific opened a $9.3 million new residence hall this afternoon. The new hall comprises of 8 buildings with 192 rooms. Vice-Chancellor Professor Rajesh Chandra says the project was completed with a $7.3 million loan from the Fiji National Provident Fund, while $1.8 million was provided by the Australia Pacific Training Centre. The new hall was officially opened by the Employment Minister Choneo Sumate.
When a first-year student arrives at university, the first thing the student wants to see is the place where he or she will stay. I can only imagine the smiles this new accommodation will bring to the students' faces.
Turning to world news, the British government is looking to cracking down on acid attacks following an increase in the incidents. Offenders could already face life in prison, and now there are calls to tighten laws on the sale and possession. Ahead in sports with Jamie, we will have all the wrap-up from the BOG, but up next is Rachel with business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Crowds turn 2 in PNG amidst challenges. And in growing Fiji, roadworks continue around the country. Stay with us.
I'm another sort of of whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Kano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. Leading business tonight. Local duty-free giant Prouds is celebrating its 2nd anniversary in Papua New Guinea. The company opened for business at Jackson International Airport in July 2015. Its stores are featured at the arrival and departure areas of PNG's major gateway. Proud's PNG manager Kiran Rathore says the past 12 months have been exciting and challenging for them. Rathore says the company is still trying to come to terms with the aftermath of the raging fire which destroyed the Proud's warehouse at Gerahu in Port Moresby. He says while they're happy with their achievement over the past 2 years, the unfortunate fire tested their business resilience. And we now join Savanatha from HFC Bank to look at the local stock market.
Good evening. Let's review the performance of the South Pacific Stock Exchange last week. 5 securities were traded, totaling to 56,236 shares, accumulating to $169,237 in over 54 transactions. The 5 securities traded were Freebird Institute, Fiji Care Insurance, Fiji Television, Vision Investment, and Fijian Holdings. There were 2 price gains, both of which closed at all-time highs. They were Fiji Care Insurance, which witnessed a gain of 5.88% or 5 cents to close at 90 cents, and Fijian Holdings with an increase of 0.44% or 2 cents to close at $4.55. The market capitalization has increased from the previous week by 0.04% to $1.504 billion. That is all from me, Vinaka.
Thanks, Savanatha. Looking at today's exchange rates, the Fijian dollar strengthened against the Chinese yuan and the American dollar to close at 3.27 and 48 cents respectively. As for regional currencies, the Australian dollar weakened, closing at 61 cents, while the New Zealand and PNG kina rose, closing at 65 cents and 135. As for the commodities market, an increase across the index today as oil prices closed at 46.66 a barrel. Gold rose to close at 1,231 an ounce, and silver followed suit, closing at 16.6 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, Laisiadava Road in Sawasava that provides access to some of the community's leading resorts is being sealed. The road runs from Sawasava past Sawasava Jetty past the Kua Resort to the Crusoes Resort at Laisiadava Point. Fulton Hogan Highways Manager North Ryan Couchman says the project started in January with procurement of drainage pipes, followed by the replacement of Crossroads culvert and clearing of existing drainage channels. Work is expected to be completed this month. Recent upgrades carried out along the Queens Highway near Nauvoo will ease the problem of flooding. Fulton Hogan Highway's cleared drain blockage by soils and overgrown vegetation and high shoulder that prevented water from draining off the highway. The works is part of an ongoing drainage maintenance aimed at protecting the sustainability and longevity of critical road networks. And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Coming up in sports, BOG playoff venues decided. And more female runners for 2017 Super Marathon. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरेटी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तो हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Match venues for the final round of the Inc. Mobile Battle of the Giants have been confirmed. The first semi-final between Reo and Lambasa will be played at Nausori's Ratu Dakambao Park on Friday evening at 7:30, while Lautoka will host Nandi in the second semi-final 3 p.m. Saturday at Churchill Park. The final will also be played at Churchill Park 2:30 p.m. Sunday.
There's been strong support by the fans in Lambasa for the 3 pool games, but not really what we expected. Compared to last year, Fiji Fact, they were houseful. In view of that, the decision has been made. But we will not forget the Lambasa fans. I think we are also looking at next year, taking a tournament back.
And a cracker of a match is expected when Lautoka takes on neighbours Nandi in the second semi-final. The match will be special for Lautoka coach Kamal Swami, who has had an impressive run with the Blues following his 5-year coaching stint with the Jet Setters. Rohit Deo has more.
Across field.
The Lautoka football side has lost only 1 match this season, and it is a clear indication of what coach Kamal Swami has done to the team. The former Nandi coach is aware what to expect from the Green Machines.
It will be a tough match. I've been coaching Nandi for the last 5 years and past 5 years. And then I came to coach Lautoka, so basically they know what I do and I know what they do, so it will be a tough match, and let's hope the best team will win.
Lautoka are the defending champions of the tournament and are 2 wins away from retaining their title.
Comes in with a cross.
Look at what strategies we'll be using to play against Nandi, looking at their video and then create plans and then work on the trainings. And there will be some players who will be starting from the bench.
Nandi will have to regather after their 1-0 loss to Lambasa in their last pool match yesterday.
We'll go back and we'll have few days of training, and then we will decide how to go about the semi-final, because semi-final is knockout and we will have to prepare for that knockout stage.
Lautoka go into the match as favourites on paper, but are aware it's knockout time and no team can be taken lightly. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Fiji Under-19 women's football side was held to a 2-all draw by Samoa at the Oceania Championships in New Zealand this afternoon. The top scorer, Demanasau, had put Fiji ahead in the 54th minute, but 2 more goals in the space of 3 minutes saw Samoa regain the lead. Luisa Tamanitoa-Kula grabbed the equaliser in the first minute of injury time. In other matches played today, New Zealand thumped New Caledonia 12-0, while Papua New Guinea beat Tonga 4-1. If Naranga Rugby's current form is anything to go by, Naita Siri will need to have all boxes ticked if it wants to stake its claim in the first HFC Bank Fairbrother Challenge. These are the sentiments of Fiji Rugby Union Chief Executive John O'Connor, who says Naranga is particularly difficult to beat at home, but not impossible. Naita Siri will be the first of 4 teams to challenge Naranga for the trophy when the two sides meet 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, the team that goes down, I believe, to challenge Naranga must be fit. They must have a positive attitude and play 80 minutes rugby to be able to defeat Naranga based on the performance of Naranga in last weekend's Skipper Cup final.
Meanwhile, at 3 p.m. on Friday, Obalau will challenge Navasa for the Bainimarama Shield at Lawanga Park. Telecom Fiji Limited has extended its support for rugby to the grassroots level. The telecommunications company announcing today its first rugby club sponsorship. Eleanor Turangavu with the details.
Established in 2016, the Combined Service Rugby Club is made up of individuals in the civil service, National Fire Authority and Fiji Corrections Services who have been posted for work to Lambasa. Today they received their first set of jerseys from Telecom Fiji Limited.
Today is a monumental occasion for TFL by sponsoring full rugby jersey set to the Combined Service Rugby Club, and of which you will be the first local rugby union club in Fiji to attain support from TFL.
TFL has always been actively engaged with Fiji Rugby with its core sponsorship of the Fiji Warriors and the Fiji women's rugby team. It's now helping develop rugby at the grassroots level.
TFL will continue to provide and develop in all aspects. And today, we all can witness that it's not all about sponsoring developed players who have reached great heights. Instead, TFL is willing to assist development to our grassroots rugby players and rugby club as well.
Combined Service Rugby patron Commissioner Northern Chovesa Vodea applauds the support from TFL for the Northern Division.
The rugby team has joined as groomed players in the past to feature in provincial rugby competition and one is building the rugby career for our enthusiastic young youths. This partnership with TFL will harness the integration and the camaraderie of the officers from various ministries and stakeholders serving in the Northern Division, especially here in Lambasa.
The Combined Service Rugby team plays in the Madhwata Rugby Club competition. The 23 sets of jerseys cost approximately $2,307. Eleanor Turangavu, FBC Sports.
Marking its 3rd consecutive year of competition, the 2017 Island Chill Suva Marathon will feature a large number of female runners this weekend. Speaking on ABC TV's Vodafone Sports Lounge, runner Lilian Delana is calling for more women to participate in the event. Eroni Tuiniku tells us more.
Women are urged to make a difference by registering their clubs or names and participating in the Island Chill Suva Marathon.
I'm trying to come in and persuade more girls to get into this marathon club and women in general as well. So I'm getting a group of young girls, a program that I run, to be involved in the Suva Marathon next week.
Marathon has been a male-dominated event since it began 3 years ago, and an increase in female participants is seen as a positive change.
With the Suva Marathon, what I've noticed is there's a lot of male runners, and I think we still just need to push more of the female representative to be there.
With only a few days to the competition, everyone is invited to register to be part of the race this weekend.
Yeah, like I said before, it's an all-inclusive event, so basically men, women, kids of a certain age, and even people with special needs. I mean, it's for everyone. So it's, you don't have to feel that I am not of a certain athletic ability. Anyone can participate and anyone can run as long as you have a pair of shoes you can run.
It's expected there will be more than 1,000 participants, showing how marathon has grown over the years. The big race starts on Saturday at 6 a.m. at Thurston Garden. Eroni Tuinoku, FBC Sports.
That's it from sports this evening. Catch weather later on with Angie, and in new media, a new navigation system for the visually impaired. That's right after the break.
Bola.
Keron mai singatoka. Keron do tali taka na varorong na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang do tali taka na radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya go silil tali. Nagurara may nawamanyi nandunga. Gitu tali tagi yang gitu Venezuela bu nangudorong. Varorong na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti na bonga ni BNN.
In new media, navigating public transit systems can be difficult, especially if you're blind. But in Boston, the Blind Ways app is a virtual GPS for the visually impaired. Angie joins us now with the very latest in weather.
Hello there and welcome to another brand new work week. Taking a peep on today, it was dry, not so warm for most, even with spells of sunshine, but conditions got a bit, let's say, thick as we got into the evening period. Now let's check out what the scenario was like in the west. It was mostly dry with sunny periods, bar rose to 29 degrees. Eastwards from Peck Harbor to Suva, it was cool, but conditions turned milder with few light showers indicated for tonight. And up in Vanuatu, it was another beautiful day as the sun made a stunning show. At sea, a strong wind warning still remains in force for all Fiji waters. And for the tides, high tide tomorrow morning will be at 107 with a low tide at 7:31. See the beauty of sunrise at 6:37. Also tomorrow, it will be fine in most places apart from few showers in Suva and Savu. Tomorrow's temps, Nandi will be the warmest with highs of 29 and lows of 20. And looking further ahead on to Wednesday, it's looking pretty clear. And that, Jackie, wraps up our FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, should strict action be taken on those retailers who fail to adhere to the decrease in fuel prices?
So I believe those people should be taken to task. The reason is we sweat what we have, our source of income. So by that, it means that they are the ones that are robbing us.
They've set the price. I don't know why these people charging extra. I mean, they should be charged for it. I think some of the buses already they charged. I saw on the TV.
They should be charged and take action to them.
I think more action should go to them because once they're supposed to put the price down and they're still using that, they're still giving the same price.
I think they should be heavily fined, and our government should really look into it and solve this issue.
These kind of traders should be heavily fined.
Recapping the main stories, diabetes-related amputation on the rise, Health Ministry won't tolerate abuse towards staff, and BOG semi-final venues decided. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, the results from last week, we had asked, should civil servants be put on contracts like people in the private sector? 52% said yes. This week we are asking, should strict action be taken on those retailers who fail to adhere to the decrease in fuel prices? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, today's shot of the day was sent by Henry Lewis. The sun's rays hitting the skies over FSC Mill in Lambasa, giving a brilliant orange color to the clouds. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us by Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable evening. Bye for now.
Bula, keron mai singatoka, keron do tali taka na varorong na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang do tali taka na radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya go silil tali. Nagurara may nawamanyi nandunga. gitu tele tele yang gitu Venezuela mengundur rongo barong na radio Fijuan nandu meviti
na radio Fijuan nandu meviti na bonga ni BNN